Hello and welcome back. My name is Lucas Mastiello and you're watching this semester's very last Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. This week, we check out an EDM show hosted on campus over the weekend, see how URI students celebrated Earth Day on the quad, hear students' reactions to Taylor Swift's new album, go to Jamestown for Aiden on Location, and as always, catch up on everything URI athletics with this week's Roadie Sports Corner. All that and more with this extra long episode of the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast, URI's only video news source. First up, Taylor Swift released her new album, The Tortured Poets Department, last week, and it elicited a wide variety of reactions among fans and critics. Our very own Hannah Sash went to the quad to find out how URI students are reacting to the album.
Last night, Taylor Swift released another album called The Tortured Poets Department. Let's see what Rhode Island has to think about it.
So the first time I listened to it, I thought it was kind of like, I didn't get it. I didn't get the vibe. But like I listened to it again, I feel like it's kind of catchy, but some of the lyrics are actually cringy. Like,
I think it was life-changing. I love it so much. I think it's one of her best written next to Folklore. And if I were Joe, I'd be scared.
It was alright. It was alright. I wouldn't listen to it again. I prefer some of her older bops, but that's what I think.
It gave really sad vibes, honestly. A lot of the songs, they weren't supposed to be happy, but they, like, the entire album just, I didn't really feel happy.
Yeah.
The entire time. I was kind of just like, oh, okay. Kind of like a melancholy vibe the entire time.
Yeah. There's a wide variety of answers and reactions to Taylor's new album. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Hannah. Up next, as the sun begins to shine and flowers bloom on trees, students gathered on the quad to celebrate Earth Day on Monday. Kat Sheridan went to the quad to tell us more.
I'm here on the URI quad where clubs and organizations are celebrating Earth Day.
Events like this are important is because, at least to me, we don't really have a big community event during spring semester, right? There's not like a huge thing where anyone of any background knows that they can go and attend and have some fun and learn some stuff. And I've always said we need a day like that in the spring semester. Spring semester, at least this time, is always really academically challenging. We need to be shown together as a community. So I'm happy this is able to happen.
I think it's an important event because it gets people out to raise awareness on a bunch of different things, whether it is harm reduction, where we talk about cannabis use, or the free farmers market, which is a great resource for students on Thursdays in the fall, and also the importance of recycling. So I think it's a great thing for everyone to come out.
This type of event is important because it brings people out on the quad to see like all the student organizations and to sort of put their money back into the community. Especially with like our event, we have fundraising for our women's ultimate team. We want to raise money for regionals, sort of just putting money back into like the student activities that we do outside of class, what makes us us.
Let's start counting Earth Day after COVID again. We've had 2 Earth Days since COVID, and we're very proud of both of them. And we're actually bigger than we were last year, so we're actually really happy to be able to do that. And we want to continue to grow over the next couple of years. The final Earth Day is to fill out the quad one day. That's our final goal.
With the 5 Cent Cigar, I'm Kat Sheridan.
Thanks, Kat. Later, we check out an on-campus EDM show and go to Jamestown for Aiden on Location, but first, I'm going to send you off to Zach Petrick for this semester's final Roadie Sports Corner.
Thanks, Lucas. Welcome back to your Roadie Sports Corner. I'm Zachary Petrick. It was another busy week in the world of Rhode Island athletics, so let's take a look at some of our scores around campus. Softball took on George Washington and won 2 out of the 3 games at home. Kylie Blinsky went 5 for 5 with a home run and a double in the first 2 games of the series. That earned her Atlantic 10 Player of the Week. Tennis fell to UMass 4-1 in their final regular season match, wrapping up a 3-3 conference record. They will face off against St. Bonaventure in the A10 Championships. Rowing competed at the Lake Maury Regatta, hanging around against Dartmouth, who received votes in last week's Collegiate Rowing Coaches Association poll. The Rams then defeated Atlantic 10 rival Fordham nearly across the board in the afternoon. Baseball traveled to George Washington, falling in 2 out of 3 games. Benny Wilson shut down the Rams to complete a 7-4 victory in Game 3. Men's and women's track competed at the Holy Cross Invitational. The men's team placed first, their second team win of the spring. Theo Peterborough placed second in the shot put with a 16.64 meter throw, a mark that earned him Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Week. Peterborough placed second, only behind Chris Taravone, who placed first. Taravone also came fifth in the discus throw. Women's placed third with notable performances from Erin Field in the weight throw and the 4x400 meter team. Both placed second in their events respectively. Thank you for joining me for your Roadie Sports Corner. To stay up to date on all things URI athletics, be sure to follow us at cigar_sports. Back to you, Lucas.
Thanks, Zach. Last Friday, the EDM Club hosted their final show of the semester. The Cigar's very own Will Holt went to the show to learn more.
I'm here at the Memorial Union for the EDM Club's rave, featuring Wubson, Bad Babes, and Bolt Cutter.
It's been a hot minute since I've been here. I played back in 2016 for y'all, so totally different crowd, totally a lot of music has happened since then, so really happy to be here.
Coming next up, we got the legend Wubson!
Stuff like this, actually a couple times this year now, but it has been about similar size. Before COVID, we used to do bigger things like that. I don't know, I've been going for many years now. I still get nervous before heading a venue, so I really don't know. Just give it a try, and as time goes on, you kind of know what's happening. You get less nervous about it.
I'm Will Holt with the 5 Cent Cigar.
Thanks, Will. Now, off to Aiden Cahill, who went to Jamestown for this semester's very last rendition of Aiden on Location.
You may be familiar with Fort Adams in Newport, but did you know that just down the road in Jamestown, there's another cool and even more colorful piece of military history? Welcome to Aiden on Location at Fort Wetherill in Jamestown, Rhode Island.
About a 20-minute drive from campus, Fort Wetherill is on Jamestown's southern coast, just a few miles from Beavertail State Park.
The first military structure here was built in 1799. Fort Dumpling, as it was then called, was built to support Fort Adams in Newport before it was eventually blown up in 1898. Let's check out inside. When the site was revamped under the Endicott Plan in 1900, it was renamed Fort Wetherill after a captain that lived in the area. These interior spaces became plotting spaces, storage, and communication centers, while outside became anti-aircraft batteries. Although there were barracks built here in 1940, by the time of the Second World War, this site was largely outdated, and it never saw any actual combat use. By 1970, all of the weapons were cleared, and the land was handed over to the state of Rhode Island, who turned it into a state park 2 years later. Though graffiti isn't actually allowed here, the tags at the park may be some of the most distinct and prominent features of it. In fact, if you come back from time to time, the park may even look completely different with new tags. Since the fort was built on a 100-foot cliff face, the park has some incredible waterfronts. You can get to them from the fort itself down some steep trails down the cliff, or just down the road at one of a few beaches. Just behind me are a few of the beaches at Fort Wetherill State Park. All the way behind me is the easily accessible beach, while the one directly behind me has a small cliff that you need to scale in order to get to the rocky waterfront. Even if you've not been here, you may recognize these beaches from Wes Anderson's 2012 film Moonrise Kingdom. In fact, much of this island was used as a filming location for the film. To me, Fort Wetherill is quintessentially Rhode Island. Cool nature, spectacular waterfront views, and some really interesting history to boot. In fact, this site inspired this entire series to begin with. That's been it for me, though. Reporting from Fort Wetherill in Jamestown. For the last time this season, back to the studio.
Thanks, Aiden. Finally, I want to thank everybody who tunes into this show for doing so this semester. A huge thanks to Jeff and Chloe in the studio, my managers Nathan and Lauren, and most importantly, the contributors who took the time out of their busy schedules to attend games, events, and travel across New England to tell the stories of what is going on around URI and our communities. For the very last time, my name is Lucas Masiello. This is a Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast, and as always, have a phenomenal week, Roadie.